presenter is the person you've all come to see. Sharon Woodhouse can open up doors and create windows to your soul and to your career. If I have said built her up too much, maybe she can bring us back to reality. Sharon? Welcome to Casa Italia Italian Cultural Center. Okay.
Hi, thanks to my longtime friend CJ Martello who introduced me to this event. I'll tell you a little bit about myself. I'm going to give you an encapsulated version of my most popular program, and then I'll take a few questions about book marketing and book publishing. So my name is Sharon Woodhouse. I've been an independent publisher for over 25 years. I started by specializing in books on Chicago and Chicago history with Lake Claremont Press, which I founded when I was 25 because I had a philosophy degree and didn't know what to do with life, and so I learned about business. And I think that's one reason I enjoy helping people build businesses today. I specialize in, especially in helping authors build businesses around their work, their knowledge, their experience. You know, how do you do it, whether that's a part-time, full-time, sideline. And I think my sense is because book marketing and sales is so hard that taking an entrepreneurial approach to promoting your book and yourself is the best way not only to get the rewards you hoped for as an author, and not only that, is to accomplish other things in life through the use of your book, your author status, and your expertise. So I now help people in 4 major ways. One, I have a 1-hour call with a publisher where people can call and bombard me with all their questions, and I answer them all, set them on a path, talk finances, marketing, self-publish, agent, this in 1 hour's time. I have a private Facebook group called A Profitable Author Life You Love for people who are actively working on building a part or full-time business around their being an author. I do project management for self-publishers, so help find them the cover designer and the editor, things like that. And the printer, and I tell people I save you money because I make no mistakes and I know the right people and they do it right the first time. And then my final offer is author coaching, help people reach author milestones like finding an agent, finishing a book, self-publishing, or building this author business. Okay, so my most popular program is called A Profitable Author Life You Love, and this is based on what I have learned by observing hundreds of authors. So it's not imaginary, it's based in what I have seen real people do that was most effective to making income, expanding their exposure, improving their life. I mean, a lot of people become authors and make interesting new friends, and it's a real perk. So I say there are 7 simple steps. It's not easy, but they're simple. So maybe you know the difference. You actually have to do it. The first one is know that it's possible. And that is truly, it's not possible in theory, it's possible for you. And it's possible for you because I've seen everyone do it, whether they have sophisticated, elite books based in the latest research, whether they're writing trashy novels, something in between, something for the grandkids, something on local history, something about their passion. They're an expert, they're an amateur. I have seen everyone find a successful route to promoting their book, so it's possible. Second step is make the commitment, is decide to do it. Don't let other things get in your way. You might slow down, sometimes it's definitely 1 step forward, 2 steps back, but you decide I'm gonna do it. You believe it's possible, you decide you're gonna do it, and you find out what you don't know, and you start doing the things. Number 3, customize it to fit your life. You don't have to do it the way everyone else does it. In fact, all the people I'm talking about, and they know they've done it their way. They find a route that works for them. That's what makes it enjoyable. That's what makes it rewarding and ultimately sustainable and income generating. 4, do 5 things a day to promote your book. Now, if you're gonna count a tweet as promoting your book, you have to do 10 things a day. But that means outreach. You know, outreach, promotion, there's a whole range of things, and I can get into those. Number 5, build your business as you go. Increase your business knowledge, increase your business savvy. You can do it with what you know, where you are right now, and just go from there. I'm a mentor for children starting businesses, 5th grade through 12th grade. If kids can do it, you can do it. It's not rocket science. Everyone can start at ground zero and go up. 6, up your mindset game as you go from where you're at. Again, you can have a bad attitude, you can believe it's not possible, you can have limiting money beliefs, you can have imposter syndrome. That's fine. Start today, improve your attitude, improve your mindset, learn what beliefs will support your efforts, and build from there. Again, if kids can do it, you can do it. Finally, cultivate a network of support. If you don't have people helping you, it's going to be hard. But here's the thing, is authors, small business people, it's a very welcoming, supportive community. Just ask. This is another good thing we can learn from kids. They just ask. They know they can Google stuff. When they don't get what they want from Google, they ask adults. And I mean, the same thing for us. And I'm the same way. I don't ask, and I should know better, because I know when people ask me, I just tell them what I know. And I don't know everything, but I probably know some stuff you don't know about book marketing or publishing, and so do other people. You can ask other authors what they do. So those are my 7 simple steps, and I'm going to elaborate on a few of them. One is customized to fit your life. There's 8 ways I've seen that people customize their book marketing and promotion that suits them. 1, engage your strengths. Focus on what you're good at. If you're a people person and social, like I know CJ is, you have to promote your book through your social activities. If you're a good speaker, if you're more of a one-on-one person, perhaps podcasts are for you, or writing articles. Number 2, orient towards how others see you. And this might be a little different than your strengths. Other people might see stuff in you, and that's what you should leverage. There's a book called The Science of Fascination by Sally Hogshead, and she helps you find out what are your major points of advantages from other people's points of view. So she's a social science researcher, and that's a really interesting book. And because it helps you think with very concrete terms about how other people are perceiving you and how you can use that to promote yourself and your book. Number 3, use your interests and skills, those you have and those you want to develop. I've seen a lot of people promote their book by learning how to blog, learning how to do media interviews, learning how to do podcast interviews. We don't know these things. We learn them. And you know what? You're only a beginner the first time, and then you're like a novice right after that, and pretty soon you've done 3 podcasts, and you discover that you only need to do 3 podcasts before you're good at doing podcasts, as an example. So again, like interests. I know we have people in this room who have followed their interests already, whether it's genealogy, that's a common inroad. I've published books on the Civil War, that is a common interesting topic for people. And then if you have such a book, you pursue your own interest in it. I've seen people who have interest in old movies, they write books on old silent film stars, then they go sit at the conventions and fan shows and sell their books and talk about their favorite topic all day. Next, serve the needs of your content, your readers, and your customers. And I'm going to say these are 3 different groups, and I'll tell you what I mean by them. Readers are people who read books. They might get them from the library, but they read and they talk about books. Customers are the people who actually put out the money for the books. They might not read them. Maybe they're people who give books as gifts, librarians, stores. So you can see that these are 2 important audiences. The other thing is, what are the needs of your content? You've created content that is now part of a body of work. And it has messages and it wants to get out. So how are the messages of your book going to get out in the world, and how can you support that? Number 5, align your activities with your values and priorities and what matters to you. I like telling the story of someone I published once, the year they had triplets. So what this person valued that year was the occasional break from child rearing. They scheduled 1 author event a week religiously, and they went out and did it. They enjoyed their grown-up time, and they promoted their book. I've known people who've been on boards of nonprofits who then donated a portion of their books to that. That matched their values. They were aligning their activities with the things that matter to them. Number 7, activate your connections and how other people can help you. I like to say that if you're promoting a book, just keep a running list of everyone you know, your Facebook friends, your people you've worked with, your Christmas card list, even the people you barely know on Twitter or TikTok, and contact everyone. Say, I'm going to reach out to people because that is how it works, outreach. Does anyone have a book club that needs a book about the Cubs in the 1945? This is a great bit of nostalgia. I lost the thing. Ask everyone at some point as a matter of reaching out. It's also a great way to maintain your connections. We all need that. Finally, build your book promotion around your current life and schedule with an eye toward your desired life and dreams. So you can only do what you can do at the moment with the constraints of your life. Sometimes we have dialysis, sometimes we have to work and we've got kids, sometimes we're thinking about retirement and how are we going to fill up all that time. And sometimes people that I work with, if they're retiring, they're thinking about, well, half the year I'm in Florida, half the year I'm here, what do I do? It's just like, okay, well, before you go to Florida, line up some events in your town, line up some book clubs, and then use the constraints of your life to help you. This is another mindset issue. Instead of saying, how are these constraints in my life restricting me? You say, okay, let's narrow down to my options. Now I only have 50 options and not 500. So those are the 8 ways I see that people have customized their book marketing to help promote their book. I think I might stop there. I say 5 to 10 things a day, and here's just a little bit of that. Ideas are everywhere. Keep a running list. Repeat the things that work. Things you're not sure of, tweak and test, see if they work, and just keep going, because what really works for most authors, unless you're Stephen King or James Patterson or someone with a hot new topic, is it's incremental, and you build it over time and the momentum will come. But you have to believe it, and that's why your networks are important, that's why the habits are important. So I think I'm going to wrap up there. I will have a sign-up sheet if you want to be on my email list. I send out no more than 2 to 3 things a month with interesting information for authors and book promotions. And I think it's useful, not salesy. But I'm happy to take any questions about book marketing or publishing.
What is your opinion on the self-publishing versus through an agent, a publisher, when it's your first time?
I always think self-publishing is a viable option for people.
You do.
And for many reasons, like the amount of time it takes. For some people, they just do not have the stomach for the numbers game that is reaching out to agents. I mean, I sometimes think you have to reach out to at least 50 agents before you give up, and at least 200 publishers. That is not within most people's realm of, I can do that.
Which you do first, the agent or the publisher? I've heard the eight.
I think it really depends on the type of book and the likelihood of what. And here's the reason I think self-publishing is always a reasonable option. I think when you bet on yourself, you have a different sort of skin in the game. And it's not just about the money, because it's affordable to self-publish now through Amazon. You just throw your book up if that's what you're doing. But it's one, you can start right away. You wrote a book, you're an author. You're an author next week, in 2 months, in 6 months. And then you can start doing the things, because in the end, it's doing all the things to promote your book and find readers and reach out, and you're going to have to do those things anyway. So it really depends, what do you have, how does it compare to everything else out there, what do you think your odds are, how much time do you have? But I think it's a viable, decent option for anyone. I don't think anyone should rule it out.
And it's no less, I don't think the word's credible, but
it depends who you're talking to. There are people who are still snooty about it, and I know some people who will not publish because they don't have a publisher. I'm not an author, I'm not a published author. And I'm like, well, you can say that, but in the meantime, tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of other people are saying, I'm an author, and they're selling their books, and they're getting readers, and there's 8 billion humans, 1.5 billion who read English, and
well, Casa Italia will be happy to give you cover if you need to have a publisher. We'll publish. It has to be Italian American material, but you can say it's published by the Casa Italia or Italian Culture.
that sounds like a great option.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I have a lot of photos I took when I was over there, so I wonder if they could go into a book.
Well, we're looking for someone to do a book on our art treasures in our art exhibit on the 2nd floor. If anybody's, go ahead.
I'm gonna take one more question.
Yes, thanks. You were talking about how to promote. What I'm wondering is, Is the time to start promoting your book before you've even written it?
Yes, it's never too early or too late to start promoting your book. And by that, I would think is as you're writing your book, you could just keep track of all the ideas you have for promoting it. I mean, that's a very easy thing that a lot of people don't do. It's like they think they're gonna remember what all their great ideas are. Just put it down, just put it in a notebook. I think even marketing is also about finding your audience. So I mean, marketing affects how you package a book, what you title it, maybe even some of the themes. I mean, I know someone who wrote a book, and the protagonist, it's like a murder mystery, but the protagonist was also a birder and had another popular hobby. And I thought, maybe she didn't do it on purpose, but those are some very distinct communities that run all the way through this fiction book, and that, you know, finding birders who would like this book is a really great way to sell more copies. So I think that's a good question and something that people should keep in mind.
I have one more question,
Okay,
I'm
sure.
sorry. For self-publishing, there's nobody who's editing or reviewing or giving suggestions?
No, well, you should always, I would recommend that if you really think you have a good book and it's not just for fun or a hobby, you should pay a professional editor. And sometimes that means 2 or 3 rounds of editing, and that's not cheap. So I would, you know, there are ways to get it in as good a condition as possible before you pay that person. Because the editor's job is to make you look good and make it easy on the readers to enjoy your book. And then you can negotiate any, you know, little differences of opinion, but. Well, I will be here at lunch if anyone wants to ask me